This has gone viral, especially in the Arab world, and many people are calling this the Egyptian Aaron Bushnell. Egypt has refused to allow refugees from Gaza into Egypt, even though they are quietly preparing an entire area for refugees where they could live in tents and things. It'd still be a horrific form of life, but I guess the idea is it's better than death at the hands of Israel's genocide. Egypt has refused. Now, they've refused probably for two main reasons. One is because they don't want to have to deal with millions of refugees. I don't know if you know, but the United States probably also wouldn't be okay with millions of refugees coming from another country. What do you think? Egypt is not allowing refugees in, but on top of that, they also claim that it would facilitate Israel's ethnic cleansing, because Israel does want to move everyone out of refugee camps, all the Palestinians out, so that Israel can own, quote unquote, all of the territory, steal all of the territory, and effectively ethnically cleanse the area. And Egypt says they don't want to facilitate that. They have stopped refugees from coming through. And this is from Haaretz. Egyptian Aaron Bushnell, quote unquote, police officer instigates viral protest against El-Sisi. So this is a police officer, probably a former police officer, I'm guessing now. Many activists in Egypt and the Arab world are sharing a recent video of an Egyptian police officer climbing a billboard in Alexandria, removing his uniform, holding up, they don't mean naked, they mean just not having a uniform on. It does, the way they phrase that does sound like he was nude, which probably would have made it even more viral, to be honest with you. But anyway, holding up the Palestinian flag and chanting, "Down with President El-Sisi," the man addresses the president of Egypt, calling him a spy and a traitor and saying, "You don't scare me." This act of protest comes after allegations against the Egyptian authorities for closing the Rafah border crossing, blocking humanitarian aid to Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, and limiting the access of hundreds of displaced people to the Egyptian side. So here's the video of him. You can only barely hear him, but he's on top of that billboard waving a Palestinian flag, has taken off his police uniform, and is yelling that he is not afraid of Al-Sisi. And by the way, since this was filmed, he has been arrested, and who knows what they're doing to him. Egypt is very much a repressive regime for people who speak out against it. So I don't know. I hope he's okay, certainly. But anyway, very brave actions. Many people are not willing to kind of just sit by and allow these moral injuries, as former State Department official Matthew Ho called it on this show yesterday. These are moral injuries. The moral injuries are obviously greater if you're involved directly in this genocide. If you are U.S. military or Israeli military, the moral injuries to behave like this. But I think there's moral injuries to all of us, just to seeing and hearing about it and knowing what's going on. There's moral injuries to us. It's just horrific. And this guy obviously was not willing to keep putting up with it and putting up with a government that he feels is allowing Palestinians to die. People are waking up. People are seeing the truth around the world, as we saw with those protests, with those marches. But even Americans' views are steadily shifting as support for Israel collapses. Here's a new poll. Majority of Americans say Biden should halt weapons shipments to Israel. This just came out today by the Center for Economic and Policy Research. They do very reliable polling. 52% of Americans agree that the U.S. government should halt weapons shipments to Israel until Israel stops its attacks on Gaza, according to a new YouGov poll commissioned by the Center for Economic and Policy Research. And it says support for stopping U.S. weapons shipments to Israel has gained traction in recent days as the Gaza death toll has surpassed 30,000 people, about 2/3 of them women and children, and of course, plenty of innocent men as well. Let's not forget that. And this is day 151, I believe, of this massacre, of these atrocities.